Hey guys, welcome to BLONITY. First, a little disclaimer, this is not financial advice, my own opinion and estimates. My estimates could be completely wrong. Don't trust, always verify, understand the numbers, be aware of scammers, and you know the best how to invest your money. Please be aware that I'm invested in Mara, Riot, Hive, Argo, Bitfarms, H8, K1, GMG, DigiHost, Galaxy, Sphere 3D, Luxfolio, Blue Sky Digital Assets, and tokens.com. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So overall, Bitcoin is holding the line. I thought, okay, we should get a correction here, but maybe this is already the correction, this sideways move here below 50,000. Because in my opinion, we should have already dropped here if we would get a bigger correction. So yeah, interesting, very interesting right now. Yeah, I think Bitcoin wants to go higher. No one knows for sure, but yeah, I mean the 51,000 it's a major resistance. We need to get through this to get really bullish, I think, with Bitcoin. Really bullish is Ethereum right now, big breakout here, and since then we're going vertical, and we're not far away from the all-time high at 4,400 US dollars. So we're now at 3,700. So yeah, maybe Ethereum is now the first mover and Bitcoin will follow this time. That's very possible. I mean, when you could look at the long-term chart here of Ethereum, this is just incredible. We had this huge fake out here to the upside, but overall, when you connect the lows here, this is just one line upside here. Very strong for Ethereum, and also good for Ethereum miners because they were affected negatively from EIP1559. I want to talk a little bit in this video about it, and yeah, the price really helps them to compensate all of this. Okay, let's check the chart first. I mean, Mara is really incredible here. It's only going up. Yeah, we were at 20 US dollars at the lows here in July. So within 45 days or so, we doubled again here to 41 US dollars. Yeah, incredible strong here. Mara is really moving. Yeah, Riot is taking a little bit slower here. Also upside, but not that strong than Mara, for sure. Then we have Hive. I mean, we're all waiting for the Hive financials. I think we will get them in 15 days, or I think we will get that in the mid of September. But Hive is the biggest Ethereum, publicly traded Ethereum miner in the world. And yeah, Ethereum mining is very profitable. And it's rising plus 5%. I personally think there will be no problem with the financials. I think the financials will be good. You don't know for sure, of course, but yeah, the last few times when Hive had delayed financials, yeah, they were always good in the end. I think it's really, yeah, I mean, if you have to file in Europe, I think it's not going to be easy with crypto. I mean, I live in Germany, and yeah, I mean, I think 80% of the people, they don't understand what crypto is. So, I mean, if you run a Bitcoin miner, that could be very difficult, I think. But yeah, finally, they will file. Ethereum miner, very profitable right now. I mean, yeah, with the Ethereum hash rate, they should have approximately 3.3 terahash right now. At the end of the year, they're going to be like 5.5 approximately. So the revenue in Ether is 78 right now. If you convert it in BTC, it's 6. So it's a revenue of 290,000 US dollars approximately. And if you add the 1 exahash they told us they have in Bitcoin mining right now, this is an additional 7.3 Bitcoins a day and the revenue of 350,000. So yeah, more than 640,000 US dollars in revenue a day. In profit, I mean, if we are conservative, we could say like 550,000 or so, or let's say 500,000, very conservative here. I mean, that's a gross profit of yeah, more than 150 million a year. So I think it's gonna be a big year for Hive blockchain for sure. Okay, so let's move on. So that's Hive. Bitfarms, after this insane rise here, it's right now yeah, relaxing here a little bit and preparing for the next move. I mean, I was tweeting about my purchase prices for Bitfarms. I mean, I usually don't do this because I don't want to say I was so smart and I bought very cheap. But I mentioned this in the last few videos that I bought at 30 Canadian dollar cents, and I checked this and I put it out on Twitter. There's the proof. I bought at 31 Canadian dollar cents and I think at 35 or so. Of course, I bought also higher. But yeah, that was really incredible what happened within less than a year. So I think that the cheapest price was on October 1st, 2020 at 31 Canadian dollar cents. Yeah, but yeah, the last few days, consolidation here. I think we need some good news from Bitfarms, maybe some miner installation or so, and then the rocket can start again. The great story is right now Hut 8 after this round bottom here. Some people would call it a cup and handle. This is the cup, this is the handle. And yeah, the target should be then this distance here, so somewhere here, 13 or so. I'm not sure about all this chart stuff. The good thing is we're moving up. It was always undervalued and now it comes. Yeah, it's a revaluation. I was waiting for this. I didn't expect it taking this long, but yeah, finally it's there. We have, yeah, the chart is looking good, the fundamentals are looking good, and the indicators are looking good. So that's a great story right now for Hut. DigiHost is really boring so far. We need some good news here. Also DMG today 6%, okay, but yeah, I mean, these small cap stocks, DigiHost and DMG, they move when there's FOMO. Then they can go vertical here like 100% in 2 days or so. But in these slower times, they are not moving really fast. Yeah, and then we have Argo. Argo is doing a little bit better today. We have to zoom in. Yeah, you could argue we have a little breakout here. So I really think the $2 here, you can see that's a big resistance. We need to push through this to get some momentum here. Yeah, Banxa is doing very good. I mean, look at this chart. Banxa is, yeah, you could call it a crypto exchange, a little bit special. There's an interview on YouTube where I was talking to Dom from Banxa. He was explaining it. It was going up, it was going down like crazy, and now it's moving up. So that's very interesting. So the exchange stocks, they look very cheap. I mean, the miners were moving first. Yeah, Voyager Digital here. Not sure about this one, but when we look to the chart, I mean, they could move also very fast. We have seen this before. So it makes a lot of sense to keep an eye on it. A lot of people asked me about CleanSpark. I will take a deeper look into it very soon and make a little analysis yeah, about it. Okay, so yeah, then I want to talk a little bit about the Bitfarms financials. It's a few days old, but it's still important. But yeah, I mean, they had 79% gross mining margin, which is incredible, 28 million, and they're reporting in US dollars. And that's also very interesting. But let's check the assets first. The current assets, so the cash and the digital assets, it's 85 million, 86 million. And with the equipment and the plant and all the miner here and the prepayments, you can see they have prepayments of 75 million. I mean, they need something like 300 million to build out the 8 exahash at the end of 2022. So they still need some cash for sure, but yeah, it's growing very fast. The assets, 231 million here, the total assets, so very nice. When we compare the assets to Hut 8, I think Hut 8 has a little bit more because of their higher Bitcoin holdings. But yeah, when I look here at the property, plant, and equipment, I mean, that's huge here for 65, 66 million, and the deposits here. So a lot of assets. Okay, the revenue, 37 million US dollars. That's huge. I think this is. Yeah, this is very big for Bitfarms, higher than Hut 8, for example. The cost of sales were also, in my opinion, very good because in the cost, they're all reporting different. In the cost of sales, they have the electricity, the maintenance stuff, and Bitfarms includes the depreciation here. I think the depreciation is approximately 4 or 5 million in here. So that means that the operational costs for running the miners are 8.1 million or something like this. Yeah, so yeah, 37 million US dollars in revenue and 8 million in operational cost. That's very low. Then we have the depreciation and the gross profit here. So on the operational costs, very good. What I don't like is the G&A expenses here, about 10 million. I think it could be also Hut 8 had something like 8 million in Canadian dollars, so more than something like 6 or 7 million US dollars. I think this has to do first with the Nasdaq listing and with these stock offerings. With there are some share-based payments. I think this has maybe to do with the HC Wainwright guys. They received some shares. I'm not 100% sure, but we will look into it. There are not all the details in there, but I think this should go down in the next few quarters. I mean, Bitfarms has approximately 100 employees, as I'm aware of. Yes, they need salaries and so on, but 10 million is a little bit high. So of course we have the revaluation here, the negative revaluation. So the Bitcoin dropped from 60 to 30,000 or so. That's why the Bitcoin holdings were dropping, and that's why we have a net loss. But on the operational side, it's incredibly good results in my opinion. Let's move on. Okay, let's go to the shares here. So what's very interesting here, I mean, within 1 year, 1 year ago we had 84 million shares, and now we have 162 million shares. So they doubled the shares, and I think that is very interesting. So, I mean, they diluted big time, to be honest. I mean, all the miners did it, but Bitfarms is definitely one of the bigger diluters here within 1 year. I mean, the most dilution, I think, had the US stocks like Mara and so on in the last year. But since then, since this year, they are very cautious with dilution. Yeah, then the Canadian miners like Bitfarms, so they doubled the shares. And I think what's very interesting, because a lot of people are crying always about dilution, this is so bad. I see it always as a buying opportunity, because Bitfarms is, you can say it's one of the best performers of all the miners. And I think they diluted in this year one of the most with this double the shares. I think Hut has something like 50%, Argo has 30% or so, 25-30%. Hive, very low dilution as I'm aware of. But when we look to the stock here, I mean, with Bitfarms on the Canadian dollar chart here, we had a new all-time high a few days ago, or 2-3 weeks ago. So that's the best performer, and yeah, I think they had one of the biggest dilution in this year with the doubling the shares. So please stop this crying always about dilution. This is wrong when you go to a Bitcoin miner. This maybe in other industries, this is the case, that it hurts the stock price and so on. In the short term, it hurts, of course, and these stocks drop. But here you can see, I mean, Argo diluted like 30%. They were moving from 280 million shares to 380 million shares or something like this. And people were all complaining about the dilution. And let's go to the Argo chart. I mean, right now we don't have any price movement here. So I think if they would dilute now big time and would buy new miners, the stock would go up. I'm not 100% sure about this, but it's not always bad to dilute. You can see it with Bitfarms. They invested the money smart. They bought new miners. They're building new facilities, and the people think the dilution it's worth it. And that's why the stock is going up. So that's what I always said from the beginning. Dilution is not always bad. It's only bad if it's for higher management fees or so. But in a bull market, if you can get the equipment, it could make sense to make this stuff. So that was important to say in my opinion, because I will not answer all this stuff again if anyone complains again, oh, there is dilution. I mean, when you dilute your stock big when you're down, like yeah, some other miners did, some small cap miners for example, yeah, then it has of course a bad taste, and then it makes no sense, or it's not good for the investors. But in some cases it makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, Bitfarms mined in the first 6 months 1,357 BTC, so that's a lot. They had 1,300 at the end of June. Now they should be close to 2,000 or so. So it's growing very fast, the inventory. Here we can see the miners they have, so they still have approximately 10,000 as 9. They are profitable, but they are not contributing a lot of hash rate. That should be something like 140, 130 petahash or so. So that's less than 10% of the total hash rate of Bitfarms. We have some other Bitmain miners, not a lot. The inner silicon, they are not very efficient. So they're more efficient than the S9, but I mean, the real fleet here is here, the MicroBT Watts miner. This is 80-90% of the hash rate. These 16,300 consists of these M20, M30s, M31, and M31S Plus. So that's nice. They have more than 10,000 M31S Plus. So this is the most efficient or very efficient miner of MicroBT. That's important, I think. Yeah, we have a lot of prepayments here, deposits of 73 million here for the end miners, and 48,000 watts miners delivered in late 2021 and 2022. Yeah, so they're expecting a lot of miners. So I think we can skip all of this. I want to go to 14A because this is the GNA stuff I want to show you. So of the, as I said, the 10.6 million in GNA is in my opinion a little bit too much right now. And the big part here is salaries and share-based payment. So I don't know what is salaries and what is share-based payments here. What percentage? I think it's because of the share-based payments, I hope, and it's not will not be there every quarter. I mean, these 2 million in professional fees had approximately the same number with 2.6 million Canadian dollars or so. I think this is for Nasdaq and for all this expansion stuff and so on. I think this will be there also in the future. I hope this number here can be reduced. And if we get the GNA, let's say, to 5 million or below per quarter, that would help to get nice profits, I think, for the miners. Okay, so that was a little bit Bitfarms overview here. Overall, in my opinion, very good results for Q2. Now I want to talk a little bit about EIP1559 because I mean, the Ethereum miners, Hive Blockchain, and soon Hut8, we're waiting still for the press release about the GPUs. So we will have 2 Ethereum miners here, and maybe some more, who knows. But we can see here on this chart, the total number of Ether issued here is this chart here. So, every 14 seconds approximately, you get some Ether as a miner. If you find the block, but we can see that it's 30-40% are burned here of this, so that's pretty big, and that's maybe a big part why Ethereum is rising. So the reward per block is 2. This is fixed. The 2 Ether is fixed, and then we have the transaction fees. This is very volatile. This can be 0.5 one day, the other it can 2 or 3. So before EIP1559, the miner got it all here, approximately 4 Ether per block. You can see here every 13.4 seconds a block is found. And if you are the miner, you find it, or your mining pool, then you will get this reward here of approximately 4 Ether. After EIP1559, these 2 here are still fixed, but a big part of this transaction fee here is burned. And burned means it's taken out, it's not existing, and that means the inflation is reduced for Ethereum, and that should be positive for the price, and I think that's what we are seeing right now, why Ethereum is rising. If you have it in 24 hours, the fixed reward is here 12.8 thousand Ether, and the transaction fees are today approximately the same, so this is coincidence. This is not regular. Yeah, and a big part of these 12,800 Ethereum are burned, like I think 70 or 80%. So that means, let's say 9,000 or so of this whole 25,000 Ether they are issued today. Let's say 10,000 are burned. So this heißt, on the net side, they're only like 15,000 Ether issued, or yeah, for the miner reward. And this side here, watchtheburn.com, you can see since EIP1559, 368,000 Ether are the mining rewards. 161,000 are burned, so a big part. And so the net issuance is only 206,000. So if you calculate like 368 minus 161 is 206,000 Ether. That means a net reduction of 44% of the rewards. So yeah, that's pretty big. That's very reduced inflation here for Ethereum, and that's a big part why the price is rising, I think. And another part, it's funny, because this effect could be also a reason for yeah, how could I put it? I mean, right now there's more trading and so on because of Ethereum is the price is higher, and that could increase the transaction fees, which will increase the burn, because when the transaction fees increase, the deflationary effect is bigger because it's more burned, and that could also contribute to a higher Ethereum price. Yeah, let's see where all of this is going. I think that's very interesting. We have Riot Blockchain. I was not sure about the hash rate, but I checked the latest news of them. They now have more than 2 exahash, so yeah, they're close or the same as Mara. Maybe Mara has some new miners now and they're higher. And yeah, then Riot wants to have 2.6 exahash in early September, so that should be now. And yeah, 2.6 exahash, that would be a huge number. Yeah, Mara and Riot are really competing there for spot number 1. Okay, so I mean, Bitcoin, we had a nice surge at 249,000 1 hour or 2 hours ago or so. We are now consolidating again, and we are now at 48,100. So yeah, hopefully we'll continue this rise here. I mean, the miners are looking overall good, I would say. No big gains today. Yeah, let's see where all of this is going. Okay guys, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.